Alrighty, Stallions and Stallionettes, we just got the biggest update for the PlayStation that we've had since launch, and 10 months after drop, we are now able to expand the storage with your own M.2 NVMe SSD. I'm not going to dwell on this, but I am going to quickly mention the Series S and X launched with a storage solution. It's expensive? Absolutely, but been here for 10 months, and you can quickly swap it between different consoles. This update or patch is absolutely thick, it is girthy, it is packed to the gills with sweet features. We're going to go over head to toe, tip to tits. More importantly than just reading patch notes, I'm going to actually showcase the features that you are actually going to notice on a day-to-day basis with your PlayStation 5. Let's get this thing. Alrighty, Stallions and Stallionettes, so I'm going to be showcasing some of these new features on screen. However, this article from pushsquare.com is going to be sourced or cited in the description below, and if you click on each one of these links, it will take you to a picture and a brief description of all of the new features from this patch. So like I mentioned, the biggest feature, in my opinion, is the fact that you can now expand the storage, because 825 gigabytes, which is actually 667 gigabytes of usable space, simply is not enough when AAA titles are pushing 100 gigabytes a pop. Now, there can be a little bit of confusion around which M.2 to buy, as well as which heatsink and how to actually install it, so I did put together an in-depth tutorial which will be linked in the description below. It's a combination of a buyer's guide for which storage solution as well as heatsink to buy, and then how to install it in your PS5. It is pretty straightforward and not very complicated. I only have 2 brain cells, and if I can do it, I'm sure you can as well. Next up, Sony has added 3D audio support for TVs, soundbars, surround sound speakers, etc. Up until now, you had to use a set of cans, headset, headphones in order to take advantage of the Tempest audio engines. Now you can actually set this up with your TV speakers. So it runs a very interesting test where it does a series of tones which will be listened to by the microphone built into your DualSense controller, and then it will adjust for basically the positioning of your furniture and your speakers. Kind of cool. Now, I will say I messed around with this for a couple of hours today, and it does sound pretty good. I was actually able to notice a difference out of my soundbar as well as my surround sound speakers. I actually did use my built-in TV speakers for a while, which I strongly recommend. Nobody uses the speakers built into a television or monitor or laptop. Go ahead and get yourself a good set of headphones or external speakers. It actually did make a difference. Now, I will say it is nowhere near comparable to the experience you're going to get with the Pulse 3D headset. That accessory was designed from the ground up to work with the Tempest audio engine on board the PS5. Just like the DualSense controller makes full use of all the functionality of the PS5, so does the Pulse 3D headset, and that's why over 85% of PS5 owners own that headset. I do have a full comprehensive review of that headset linked in the description below. I mentioned the Pulse 3D headset earlier and how it really grabbed me by the gamer rod and produced the gamer goo. Well, they added 2 more features to improve the performance of the Pulse 3D headset. The first one is audio profiles. Now, I'm gonna leave it in default. I messed around with it. All it really seemed to do was raise or lower the natural frequency range to where it didn't really sound very natural or organic. It kind of sounded like artificial pumped in audio, which I'm not a fan of. I like it natural, ladies, so I'm gonna leave it at default. Now, this is a very welcome feature. I said this during my review that I was actually surprised these headphones sounded as good as they do, considering there was zero control for them in the user interface. There was no equalizer or different modes or anything. That has changed. They now have equalizer presets, and you can manually set up different profiles. The control center is now way more customizable to where you can move the widgets around or add or remove them at your liking, which I thought was pretty nice. GameBase is now substantially upgraded to where when you pull up the control center by pressing the PS button, you're going to see your friends list as well as parties, and you will also get little pop-up notifications letting you know when buddies are playing games that you can join, which I think is pretty cool. Now, they are very non-intrusive notifications, and one of the new features is you can actually turn off the audio cue from notifications. Now, this next feature is extremely welcome considering the majority of games that you're going to play on your PS5 are most likely PS4 classics, considering there's only a handful of titles for the PlayStation 5. And before, it was kind of confusing how they had them labeled or laid out. They were all mushed together, and then you had to press the options button and go into details to find out what platform it's for. No more. Now, PlayStation 3, 4, and 5 games. I did say PlayStation 3. Granted, you can't slide a PS3 disc in the old slot. Of course, you can buy PS3 titles on the store, on the PSN store. You will clearly get a label that says PS4 or 5 next to games, and this is not only on the home menu, but also in the games library, which is super, super convenient. Also, if you want to hide games now, pressing the option buttons gets you the hide option in a drop-down. They added a feature called Trophy Tracker, where you can now pin up to 5 trophies trophies per game via the control center, giving you much faster access to trophies you're trying to unlock. And this is great for PlayStation purists. The trophy list is now displayed vertically. Again, I wasn't a huge fan of the horizontal layout, but then again, I don't spend a whole heck of a lot of time staring at trophies. I'm not a completionist, but I know a lot of gamers are, and I know a lot of people spend a lot of time salivating over their collection of trophies, and now it is a lot easier to browse. Sony has also boosted up the functionality of the screen reader, so if you are hard of sight, which by the way, my props to you if you are still gaming and your vision isn't up to par, but now it will read what is on screen by pressing the PlayStation and triangle button to pause whatever is being said, or you can push the PlayStation button plus R1 and it will repeat what it just read out. Now for the 4 people that are subscribed to PlayStation Now, and for the 2 people of those 4 people that stream games from that service, you will now be able to select 720p or a whopping 1080p cornea splitting resolution when streaming a game. Now this is actually a really nice feature. It is incredibly frustrating when platforms like Netflix or HBO Max for videos, or also PlayStation Now and Game Pass for video games, remove games, but it happens. Obviously they need to clear up storage in the servers and whatnot. Now you will clearly get a label as to when a game is expiring if it is soon, so that way you can finish up your progress and decide if you like the game enough to buy it or not. This is a very fun feature for the kind and polite society that we're trying to build where no one gets offended. Accolades are these little emblems that players are awarded each time they achieve good conduct while playing online. So if you don't call someone a cockeyed cockatoo or a shrimp in the pants Seymour, and you're not being a toxic Timothy, then you get yourself a little accolade instead of a demerit badge and getting sent to the back of the class for detention. Banging erasers. Your PS5 will now save video clips of your nastiest moments. So you bust a 360 no-scope, tomahawk busting ankle splitter deluxe with a slide frag throw, and you forget to double tap the share button because you're baked out of your skull? Don't worry, your PlayStation 5 saved it for you, sucker. For my trophy collectors that simply do not feel like their life is complete and feel like they need to leave their wife and sell their house because they haven't collected the latest platinum trophy, you get a trophy display box when you're hovering over a game's landing page, or splash screen, I should say. If that doesn't tickle you in the bronze cup, then I don't know what will touch your medallion. You little trophy collectors, you. This is a fun little nicety. There's new fonts that you can add to screenshots. So when you take a screenshot on the PS5, which I do all the time to set it as my background or my screensaver, you can now embellish or enrich in the text with a dank font. So this is legitimately a pretty cool feature. It's an improvement to video capture. So whenever you are screen capturing, say for example, you aspiring YouTubers out there are trying to collect some sweet gameplay footage to turn into a compilation, now the elapsed timer for how long you've been recording will disappear and then only pop up when needed, i.e. when you start or stop a recording, or every once in a while to remind you, hey, you're still screen recording and sucking up your storage, as opposed to it being on screen constantly. So I think that is really cool. This is also a pretty cool feature. You can now watch videos directly from your notification pop-up box. So whenever you get a window that pops up letting you know, hey, one of your buddies in your friend list just shared a video clip of him banging your mom, you are able to watch that instantaneously so you can throw up and get back to your game. Also, if you like to take screenshots, you can now disable that little pop-up notification that lets you know you just took a sneaky peek. You can now choose to include or exclude your own microphone audio and party audio in your broadcast and video clips. So that is cool. If you have one friend that's always loud and obnoxious and always spamming inappropriate words and whatnot, just leave his mic unmonitored and you can still save your clip to your sweet up and coming YouTube channel. You can now manually update your DualSense controllers. Yes, we do live in an era where you have to update your controllers with new features, new patches, and new updates. So when you first turn on a controller, you will get a notification that an update is available, but if you were to skip that and it didn't pop up for a future time, you can just manually go to accessories, then to controllers, and then to wireless controller device software, and it will let you know if you are up to date with the latest and greatest firmware. You know what's super fun and not frustrating at all, and everyone should do it because it puts 2 inches on your peen? Using your cell phone in combination with your console. If you make use of the PlayStation Remote Play on your Apple or Android device, you may be sensually pleased to know that this newest update enables the use of Remote Play with mobile data, so you pay extra monthly. You'll be able to access your PS5 via your mobile data or your Wi-Fi network. Sounds like something I'll never use. But wait, there's more. If you're a Gen Zer and you can't put down your cell phone because you're addicted to social media, now your screen share feed can be on smartphones and tablets. What the hell does that mean? Sit back, bitch. I'm going to tell you. On the PS5, screen share is a feature in which you can, well, share your screen to a friend so they can watch your gameplay. I have a lot of friends that like to watch too. They're creepy, but they're still my friends. With this firmware update, you and your friends can watch each other back and forth. That's fun. Now, everyone knows that we shouldn't allow our children to have too much fun. It turns them into spoiled little snot-nosed punks. You gotta beat them down. Make sure their happiness remains low and their respect remains high. So, parental controls have gotten a sweet buff. With this new update, children will get a light electrical zap every time they sneak into the cookie jar. No, it doesn't do that, but what it will do is give you an alert on your PS5 console as well as the PS app, because of course you have that in your cell phone. And then, once you approve or deny their request to play that Grand Theft Auto match, they'll get a notification letting them know that you are a good or bad parent. Take that as you will. So yeah, Stallions and Stallionettes, the PS5 was already dope or sick, if you will. Now it's ill. It's the illiest. The dog right there. She's not dead. She is alive. If I were to throw something at her right now, she would get up. Oh, the princess. If you stuck around this long, you already know what you need to do. Liking the video will help you to lock in one of these consoles immediately. And subscribe to make your enemies piss blood. Sharing puts horsepower under your hood and inches in your shorts. And I will see you Stallions tomorrow. So make sure you trot your ass back in the stable, because I upload daily. Peace. Wow, that's creepy.